Welcome to Darthozzie Stars Collector's Corner. I'm here, Darthozzie's apprentice, and this is...
Darthozzie.
And today, this is not Beskar in my hand, this is Han Solo in Carbonite, and if you can see right here, we are doing a comparison with the old carbon freezing chamber and the new one. It's gonna be good. Continue, and we'll be back right after this. This is the 2000 carbon freezing Bespin, I think it was, Cloud City freezing chamber, and it got a lot of very nice functionalities with it. Like, there's a lot of good stuff with guns, spare projectiles, and it did come with a figure. And things can happen with, like, that's the figure. And other things can happen with it, like doors, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Darthozzie, do you want to say something?
Do I get a chance?
Right now you do.
Okay, so it is the Power of the Force Bespin Cloud City carbon freezing chamber playset that did come out in 2000, and he's absolutely right. This boy does his homework, don't you, Darth Apprentice? The functionality of this is a very nice little playset, and it's a little bit more compact than the new one that's come out recently. The other thing is with this playset, there are a lot more details and aspects to it at 2 levels, whereas the new one tends to have just the one area of play. But yes, it did come with a figure, and it's a Bespin security guard right here. But what else have you noticed? What's the big feature on this playset?
The carbon freezing chamber and like the orange across here.
Yeah, so there's a colourful front to this. There's also a sliding arm that allows you to push up and get out Mr. Han Solo, who happens to be sitting inside a piece of carbonite here. But the handle, the slider on the side goes up and down. Just open that up. This is the only carbon freezing or piece of carbonite that I've seen that actually has, again, more functionality. They were very clever back in 2000, and they put in a piece of fabric in the front here, which is completely different to all of the other blocks of carbonite that have come out over the years, both with the Slave 1, the original Kenner Slave 1, and then the re-released Hasbro Slave 1. There's a block of carbonite that came out with the other playset as well, the new playset. But this one's got fabric in it, so the more you press something into it, the more you can see the details of it. So it's a little bit like an image of Han Solo, if you like, being pressed through it. And that happens because you can close the door on the back and you can put him in there. He also comes with a little stand so that you can put him, standing up, and some chains that go around his hands as well. So that's the carbon block. What else does it do?
So it does have this control panel here. I don't exactly know why, but it does
break off. And there's more detail underneath in there.
Control panels, like smaller ones. There is also this little control panel across here that moves around.
So Ugnaughts can stand here and operate this. And your security guards can stand up the top here.
There is a huge cannon that has, projectiles that it can fire. But on the back, it has a door, so you can, really like pretend that they're walking in.
Yep, so it's like an under chamber cell that you can put the prisoners in.
You can hold the prisoners captive and then you can freeze them.
Yeah, so that's a lot more things that you can play with. The other thing is
on the inside there's
there's
panel,
another lever.
Like a lever that pulls this. I don't exactly know what it does. I think it
pushes the prisoner into the carbonite block.
Yeah.
This one had a lot of playability, a lot of functionality. Things came off and were able to be used. There was little data screens on it and little blocks here that look 100% like the movie. The cannon obviously is an add-on for kids to play with, but apart from that, the idea of hand being squashed into the carbonite was a unique thing.
Yes.
And as I said, no others have done that since. What would we do if we were going to remake this now?
If we would remake it, the top of it looks like the movie, but the side, like the glowing part and the bottom half doesn't really.
Well, we never really saw that in the movie anyway, down the bottom.
Wasn't there stairs that went up?
There were more stairs than just the few that are here leading up. So, if we want to flash forward to the 2020 version of it, how do we do that?
Well, we just use the Force.
Okay, go ahead.
Woo!
And there we go. So this is the 2020 version of Hasbro's playset for The Empire Strikes Back Cloud City Bespin Carbon Freezing Chamber.
Very nice.
As you can see, there's a bit of difference. We've got this whole upstairs area. We've got a row of stairs leading down to the carbon freezing chamber. No actual pieces up on top for anybody to control. And there is some underneath stuff you can see here. There's some pylons and stands and things. But really, the stairs, I think, are able to be illuminated from below because they've got the insert of the orange plastic.
One thing I want to say though,
Go on.
I find this very, like, they haven't done too much to make this very nice. They've just done a circle.
You think it's a bit flimsy?
Yeah, because it's not flimsy. I just don't think they've done too much on the carbon freezing chamber itself, like where he gets frozen in. It's just a circle that you pull a little lever down, and that's really it. Like, it should be more.
There should be a little bit more detail, you reckon?
Like more.
The carbon freezing block that comes with it,
it's the
pretty
same
lackluster.
colour.
It's not even as good as the one that came with Slave 1.
This one that came with Slave 1.
Slave 1 seems to be painted a little bit better. Hold it up a bit higher. That seems to be painted a little bit nicer. But yeah, you're right. The carbon freezing block that's here.
Like, I like the lever.
It has the lever to allow it to come up and down.
Like, you just pull. I like the lever, just I don't think they've done too much to make it feel like the movie. Like, it doesn't really feel like the movie. It just feels like there's a tube, he gets frozen in that, that's it.
Yeah.
There should, like, with the older one, I did like the orange, and I did like how it was a bigger area, so you could actually do playable stuff, and there was more stuff to do with inside the actual tube.
Do you think this one's designed for collectors to just set up scenes and not play in? It's not for kids to play in.
Well, it does have like the stairs, you can play with that, but I think yes, with you, I think yes, the carbon freezing chamber is probably just for photos.
Well, I have seen some Instagram photos that people have used this for, and they can set it up very well. They can light it from below. They can put smoke around it, like in the movie. You put in a blue background behind it with some lights shining up. It does look quite nice. The biggest drawback, though, is that we've got half.
Yes, it should be, but in the movie, it is like a big circle. So it should be a big circle you attach two together, and this should probably be bigger. The
other part of it is, of course, Hasbro are clever in their marketing, and they say, well, why not buy two sets and join them together? Well, the upshot of it is, in the actual movie, you probably never saw the other side of the carbon freezing chamber, and who knows that it looked like this. So really what you're actually wanting is the second half of the circular platform, and maybe another staircase going to something, doesn't matter what. However, you will end up getting another block of carbonite, you'll end up getting another circular freezing chamber, you end up getting more of this stuff over here that maybe looks okay on the other side as well, but you may never look at it as a whole. It's really the second half of the floor here that we need. And so with that in mind, what do you give this playset rating out of 10, and what would you give the original one out of 10?
I like all of the stuff on this. Like, you can light it up from the stairs.
Yep, underneath.
It's very nice. Like, all the details they've done on, like, the poles, which you may not really see. And with, like, this, like, room up here, they've done a lot of detail to it. But the thing that's probably put it back to around, like a 7 or a 6 is this.
Yep.
And that you have to buy 2 play sets because it is very expensive around now.
Yep.
It's expensive because it's just come out.
So like the 2000 version, this playset also came with an action figure, beautifully carded. It is a vintage collection figure, so this one has full articulation, whereas the original only had the 5 points. And it's a Stormtrooper. Now, why Hasbro chose to put a Stormtrooper in, considering that, you know, lots of people have Stormtroopers, it might have been worth having something else like a Lando or a Lobot or an Ugnaught or something along those lines. But they went with a Stormtrooper. That Stormtrooper is actually carded and has a number that puts it into the Vintage Collection series. So if you are a completist of the Vintage Collection, you basically have to buy this Empire Strikes Back carbon freezing chamber to get this figure to be part of your collection. So what are you going to rate it as?
Maybe 6.
A 6 only? Yep. Or what would you rate the original 2000
The original I really like. It's got detail. The hole is big. This one's got detail too, but the old one, the hole is bigger. You can do more things with it. Probably say around about a 9 maybe?
Okay, a 9. So that's because of more playability.
Yes, more playability.
A little bit more robust and a lot more features on it.
Even though this has like the upper stairs and stuff like that, the older one's probably better. And usually the newer stuff is a lot better than the older stuff. But in this case, I think the older stuff is better than the newer stuff.
And that's coming from a kid who likes to play with things. This is not a playable item, as I said. It's more to do with setting up and taking photos or having a display in your collection. Look, some of the stuff is fairly easily pulls apart, and therefore in a play environment, that's
Very
going
bad.
to be a really tricky thing for a kid to actually be able to not damage. All right. Now, if people like what we do, what do they do?
Like, subscribe, comment down below, and if you subscribe, I get $1 more.
Okay, we have a side bet going that every new subscription he gets $1. We could end up being very poor. Anyway, the other
But
part
I
of
could be
this,
rich.
the other part, of course, is that we are affiliated with Goodies Toys. Goodies Toys is an Australian distributor of Star Wars items, particularly Black Series and the Vintage Collection, but a lot of other things as well. Go and check Goodies Toys. It's down here on the bottom. He also has an eBay store. So you can go on eBay and search up Goodies Toys, but of course Goodies Toys website pre-orders as well as purchase things that are on there. He's a great mate, so go and check him out. And what does he give?
And if you buy something that's over $99 or is $99, you will get postage for free.
Within Australia.
Yes.
All right, so that's it for today. The Cloud City play sets, the carbon freezing chambers from both 2020 and 20 years ago from the Power of the Force, the 2000 version. That's it for me. I'm Darthozzie.
And I'm his apprentice.
May the Force be with you.
Bye.